Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and if you are just tuning in to the NAGA today, welcome to Wild Card Weekend. This is the final match of the day, the second of two. We have the divisional rivals and Atlantic Wild Card matchup, the Raleigh Royals, going into Orlando to take on the Flames. And I expect this to be a super close match. The analysts favor Raleigh. The stats, the percentage chance has Orlando by a significant margin, 68% to 32%. Let's see what the players have to say about it in this overcast stadium here at 7 p.m. Eastern. I am more than glad, more than excited, more than thrilled to commentate this matchup. You got Orlando wearing the all-red uniforms to really represent the Flames, and you have Raleigh donning the all-white uniforms. Some teams have opted to wear white at home this weekend. Some teams have opted to wear, the normal at-home colors, and Gilroy will open us off with a touchback. Gilroy, a favorite to win Kicker of the Year for his second consecutive year. He won it by a landslide last season, and he is definitely in contention, at least for the Atlantic side. Here we have Tremonti Geechee under center. Geechee did not play the Royals this season. He is a wild card element, and his first pass is a first down. That is Rubio, the tight end, Alex Rubio, the second stringer, behind, obviously, the stud tight end of the year last season, the Pro Bowler, Barrett Galbraith. And we already have a new set of downs here for the Orlando Flames. The coach/GM of this team, Pharaoh Trey, is, has been talking a lot of smack against the coach/GM against the Raleigh Royals, Logan. These guys have been bantering it up in the NAGA Discord, and it is quite the spectacle when, you have two coaches that passionate about their teams, really getting immersed in the experience of Sim League football, and you'll love to see it. If you guys want to join, you viewers who are not a part of this league, please join the Discord. Link in the bio, link in our about info. We would love to have you. 3rd and inches now for the Orlando Flames. Geechee motioning Galbraith, handing it off to Miles, who is just the speediest back. Look at him rocket out of the backfield for the first down. Gain of 11 on the play. Sean Miles, the former Maryland Terrapin, is a second-year back. The 22-year-old is, of course, relieving Cameron Brown on that play. And there he is once again. Sean Miles, this time getting stopped rather quickly, as Sam Ligon might make it into the mix. That was Jacob Fraser on the stop. Ligon is also a 22-year-old back. Not in the play this time, as Lorenzo Martin, wide receiver 1, gets the easy catch for the first down. The Raleigh Royals letting up a lot of plays against Geechee. Fisher, in both of their matchups, Fisher had very contrasting games. In week 3, they lost 20-11, and late in the season, they were able to pull off the dub in week 9, the most recent of the two games. That scores 27-9. So Orlando being the last ones to win this rivalry, last time they faced off against each other, and they're looking to continue that, mixing it up with Geechee in the game, and Geechee throwing it away on 2nd and short. Cameron Brown now back in the game. Looks like that was a deep pass play called really close to the end zone, 13-yard line. Single back formation, Geechee, that being his first incompletion, looking pretty great. There was some doubts. Ishii's 0-2 on the season, and he dishes it out for almost a first down, 4th and inches. If I were them, I'd go for this. It is so close. We'll see what the call is from Coach Pharaoh Trey, and he will send out Stephen Freitag, and Freitag will kick it straight through. Regardless of the heavy wind, 28-yarder is good. Take the points. Put the points on the board. Don't act like you're Mike Vrabel. What am I talking about? Wrong muscular head coach Dan Campbell. Nice little flub on my end. Speaking of Mike Vrabel, how come he has not been signed to a team yet? Maybe he'll join the NAGA and coach one of these teams. You never know. Sure, the Louisville Kings could use him. Raleigh on their first possession. Marching out, Chris Bond, running back 2, is now running back 1 today. The owner, Logan, demoted rookie Willis. No, sorry, not Willis. Colvin. Again, another flub on my end. The other stud rookie running back, George Colvin, in contention for Offensive Rookie of the Year in the Atlantic Conference, as opposed to the aforementioned Willis Jr., who plays for the Portland Grizzlies, who is in the running for the Offensive Rookie of the Year in the Pacific Conference. Bond still in the game, though. We have Rakeem Cannon being motioned out to the left side, and Britton will drop back. Flag on the play. He chucks it deep. Intended for Bullard, and it was a holding on Oliver Crisp. And you know what that means? That is a new set of downs, regardless of the results of the last play. Just barely overthrew Bullard there. I formation, expecting a run play here. Handoff up the middle to Bond. And Bond will gain 4 yards on the play before being stopped in his tracks by DeMarcus Elder. This Raleigh offense, they have the 6th best pass offense. And Britton looking to showcase that right now. Looking deep. Incomplete pass. Looked like that was intended for Trevor Robertson, the late season acquisition from Virginia Beach. He was on Virginia Beach his whole career, as far as I know, until he made it to Raleigh. Correction, he was on Vancouver, then Virginia Beach, now on his 3rd team in Raleigh. Both of those teams in the playoffs. Bond, the toss on 3rd down, gains 13. Quite handily had a first down there, and Bond is trying to convince the Royals fan base that he is a worthy starter. Been doing great all season as RB2. Balling out today as RB1 so far in this opening drive. Gain of 5 there. And Colvin, not quite disgraced. You know, his first year in the league. He is just being benched for today. Not really benched, but seeing less snap counts. Colvin up the middle, getting a first down himself. Gain of 8. Looks like Raleigh's going run heavy here today, despite having the pass offense that they do. Colvin staying in the rotation on first down. Motioning Cannon out to the right. Cannon, the most dynamic fullback in the league. Colvin getting clipped, gaining 9. And Chris Bond coming back in before his spotlight gets stolen. Nice little narrative here I got going with the running back situation. Regardless, Raleigh's success is what matters, and Bond not being able to bring it to him. Oliver Crisp, the man who was holding a few plays back, coming up with a big stop there. Crucial 3rd down from the 34-yard line. Nothing outside of Gilroy's range, so we'll see if they settle for a field goal. They will not. Bond stripped! Redmond coming in to recover the fumble. Wide receiver 2 out of Michigan State. Really saving the day there. That could have been a game changer. Britton looking to his left. Contested. Trevor Robertson brought down after no gain. On the tackle there, looked like it was... couldn't tell who that was. Adrian Gordon, more than likely. 2nd down and 10. Britton dropping back once again. Plenty of time towards the end zone. Touchdown, Tyrese Redmond. Make it 6 points. Make it 7 when Gilroy puts through the extra points. Tyrese Redmond. Gonna see how many touchdowns that is for him this season. Britton, that is 12 touchdowns for Britton. And Redmond, that'll be his... I cannot be reading this right. That is his first touchdown of the season, ladies and gentlemen. 23 catches for 510 yards heading into today with no touchdowns to show for it. He is the only wide receiver in the top 50. In the top 50 in receiving yards without a touchdown in the regular season. And here he gets one in the postseason on their opening drive. Opening pass of this drive by Geechee just past Terrence Jones-Carlton. Geechee now 3 for 5, pitching it to Brown. Brown gaining significant yardage there, 8-yard gain. Third and 2. 3rd and 2. Handoff up the middle to Brown. Stiff arming a man. He'll gain 4 on the play. This Orlando offense flexing some big weapons such as Galbraith, Brown, and clearly Miles, who is just electric. Anytime he touches the ball, looks like there is a face mask on the play. Add 15 yards to it. Now Orlando in Raleigh territory. Geechee in shotgun with Brown on his right side. Hands it off to Brown. And Brown deciding to cut in. Not the best decision. Only gains 2 on the play. Was stopped in his tracks by Brad Goodrich. 2nd and 8. We have a little motion there for Jones-Carlton. Geechee, plenty of time in the pocket, out to the left, off the hands of his receiver. Lorenzo Martin, kind of in double coverage there. Should have thrown it a little earlier. And that's just something that, you know, young quarterbacks like Geechee, you got to go through all your progressions. You know, make the right decision at the right time. Geechee dropping back once again. There you go. That pass was at the right time. Lorenzo Martin snagging it for the first. It's clear why Orlando went with Geechee. He is young. He is fast. And he is probably the future of this franchise. That was the stirrings early this season when they let him get 2 games in the first 2 weeks. Both of those were, end of the first, 7-3. Orlando's still trailing, but not for long. But those 2 losses coming to Brooklyn. Oh, no, sorry. Week 1 was a win against Baton Rouge, but it was a close one. Week 2 was a loss to Brooklyn, and then they moved on from him. Went with Fisher from then on. Geechee, under pressure, gets it to Langford. I did not get the opportunity to interview Pharaoh Trey or Logan this week, but they both, in their banter and in their, hyping up their own teams, got to hype up their men. I never really got a chance to discover why Geechee was benched, because plays like that, Justin Langford touchdown. What a dime from Geechee. It is a wonder. Maybe they've been storing him up. They put their faith in Fisher, let him have his, his last dance with the team. Expect maybe a retirement and let Geechee take the reins after a promising start to the season. Now let me look up his stat line here. Early in the season, so through his first 2 games, here is Tremonti Geechee's stat line. He had a 103.3 quarterback rating on average. He had 33 completions on 56 attempts. That is just shy of a 60% completion rate. No interceptions, 381 yards, and 4 touchdowns. I mean, come on. This guy averaged 12 yards per completion. I mean, let alone per pass. He did great. Didn't have to be too flashy, just had his weapons around him. That's all you need to do. Britton needed some guys around him there. Oliver Crisp bringing him down for a loss of 6. Orlando up 10-7 at the beginning of the second, and if Raleigh cannot protect Britton, we might see this get out of hand. Colvin in the backfield getting the handoff, breaking the tackle, gaining 5, almost back up to the original line of scrimmage. And Raleigh is faced with a 3rd and long here early in the second. Britton in shotgun. Dropping back under pressure, looking deep to Robertson, who catches it and gains 27 yards on the play. And a Hail Mary early in the second quarter, courtesy of Robertson. Looking like a Pro Bowler there. New set of downs, just shy of midfield. Jake Britton looking to his left, off the hands of the defender. Who was that? Oh my goodness, that was Elijah Jennings. Scary defensive back out of LSU. Almost bringing nightmare situation for Raleigh. And Colvin getting stopped short. Only gaining 2 there. Looks like Antoine Stevenson got a little banged up there on the collision. Third and 8. The man in motion. They'll decide to hand it off to Bond, and Bond will be stopped shy by DeMarcus Elder. Now comes Gilroy for a extremely long attempt. What's going on here? Gilroy corking one. 61-yarder is good. Is that the first NAGA 60-plus yard completion? Gilroy is him. Gilroy got that dog in him, tying up the game 10-10. And a touchback. His leg is just unlimited power. With a now tie ball game, Orlando cannot feel as safe as they thought they would. I'm sure they expected Raleigh to punt there, as most teams do. Great tackle for loss there. Well, tackle for no gain. Charles Pope. Second and 10. Geechee motioning Martin. Geechee with the play action under pressure. Dishes it out to Brown. Gain of 4. Great quick thinking there. Orlando will now have third down, though. Geechee, 7 for 10, 68 yards. great stat line. You know, nothing to sneer at. Chase Brown trying to run. What's with these teams trying to run on third down? Doesn't make much sense to me, especially given it was 3rd and long, but 4th and 4 now. And Orlando is sure to punt it. Michael DeLuca punting it away. Round 6, pick 127. That is a rookie punter. Switching sides of the field to the 28. Nice distance there from the rookie punter. Colvin breaking multiple tackles, refusing to go down. Tackled by number 37. That is Tyshawn Kennedy. Haven't seen much of Bond since he fumbled it. Guess he got cracked really hard. Redmond getting the first down. Great catch there. Man coverage from Elijah Jennings couldn't stop Tyrese Redmond. Halfway through the second quarter, first down, the toss to Colvin. And Colvin will gain another 5. And Raleigh is just running it against this formidable defense. Go. Late toss to Bond. Looked like he was over top of the body of Ryan Rosenblum. One of the defensive linemen of the year candidates. Had to get that award out. Kind of tripping over my words there. Britton dropping back, looking quickly to Bond. Through the hands of number 56. Adrian Gordon. And the chain gang continues to move. Britton dropping back. Under pressure to his right. Double coverage. Scary situation for Royals fans. Intended for Tyrese Redmond, the reliable number 1 wide receiver. Single back formation. Clock is stopped. Handoff met in the backfield. Colvin is met by Moala. Etuate Moala, the Hawaiian native, making the big play. That's 2 tackles for loss, I believe, from him today. Jake Britton looking deep, flag on the play. And it is on Elijah Jennings, pass interference, and that is costly. He was in double coverage. You didn't need to do it, Jennings. And now Raleigh is in excellent scoring position. Penalties can cost teams games, as we just saw earlier today. If you guys tuned into the Memphis game, count how many penalties were called against Memphis, especially on important plays. Speaking of, the winner of this game will face the St. Louis Sharks, as Wichita will face Virginia Beach next week. Excited to see whoever wins face the Sharks, a very formidable team, as both of the teams who got first round bye are. The Virginia Beach Mariners and Sharks, I think both have the same record of 8-2. After that, incompletion intended for Colvin in the end zone. One that might have them, you know, looking back like what could have been, depending on the outcome of this game. We'll see based off of how the rest of this half goes and how the rest of this game goes. Gilroy with the field goal attempt after making a 61-yarder just drills a 22-yarder into the audience, clears the net, and he's hyped about that. .245 to go in the second. Gilroy. Another touchback from Nate the Great. Geechee in pistol formation. Play action, and he looks for Brown, who just clears a man out of bounds. Gracious. That man looked like Josh Norman facing off against Derrick Henry. Sent him flying. He believes he can fly. Hand off to Sean Miles up to the right side. Leg tackled. Little hip drop tackle there after a gain of 2, and the 2-minute warning is just slowly creeping up on us, and here it is. 13-10, Raleigh still leading as Orlando is just along the paint of the midfield logo. 5 wide receiver set, Geechee dropping back. Plenty of time, finds TJC. Giving these Orlando fans a little TLC, much needed after a tumultuous season. I mean, both of these teams, I mean, I'm sure you guys were paying attention to the standings in their division. The Memphis Liberty obviously coming out on top in the Southeast, but Orlando and Raleigh both just around 500. Raleigh finished at 500. Orlando 6-4. You know, both of these teams have had their ups and downs this season, just hoping for some daylight. And speaking of daylight, Langford found some. Gain of 23 yards, and the clock continues to tick. Both teams saving all 3 of their timeouts for some reason. I'd expect Raleigh to call a timeout. Orlando is having some great momentum. Single back formation just outside of a minute now. Motioning Langford to the left. Geechee dropping back, looking to his left. Picked off! Amari Lawson! Mossed Langford. And now Raleigh has it from their own 3. And if this was Raleigh, the crowd would be going wild, but the crowd is all but silent after that heartbreaker of a play. And Colvin gained 7 on the play after Britton was rushed pretty quickly. It looked like he was going to get sacked there. Mawala and Rosenblum seeing red, looking for blood, and Raleigh could just kneel this thing out if they wanted to, but they won't. Redmond gaining 21 on the play, and they're just going no huddle here. 3 timeouts still remaining. Never mind, looks like they are going to the huddle. I spoke too soon. You'd think if they were going to the huddle, they'd just kneel the game out, but Britton looking to the left, incomplete, intended for Colvin, and Raleigh won't capitalize on this turnover. I guess they're just feeling lucky that they, you know, got away with defending that offense. Almost picked off there. You know, Britton's got to be careful here. Wondering how many picks that is for Amari Lawson. I'll get that to you guys soon. 3rd and 10 now, and it's a handoff to Colvin. You wonder why they didn't just, you know, run the clock. I don't understand what's going on in Logan's head. He's playing some mind games here. But that was Amari Lawson's 2nd interception this season. He had 1 in the regular season, 14 defended pass, 1 forced fumble, 43 tackles. Quite the stat line, and that catch by Bullard will mean nothing since they didn't burn any timeouts early. A very even game. Raleigh coming out on top in the first quarter. Orlando in the second. It is anybody's game as Raleigh will get the ball to start the half. It is Super Bowl weekend. I'm sure most of you guys will be watching the Super Bowl. Another matchup with two teams dressed in red. Leave a comment of who you're rooting for. I'm personally rooting for the Niners. I would love to see Patrick Mahomes have a dynasty, but I hate dynasties. I don't like it when a team wins twice in a row in any sport. Just makes the sport less fun to watch. I'd like to see things evenly distributed. It would have been nice for the Lions to go to the Super Bowl this year. It would have been nice for the Texans to go to the Super Bowl. But, then again, good teams are good teams, and there's no stopping them. But me personally, I'd rather see Brock Purdy prove the haters wrong than for Patrick Mahomes, the future GOAT, to establish a dynasty in the 2020s NFL. Huge sack by Adrian Gordon. Back to this game of the two red teams. Raleigh now backed up into their own 15, within their own 15 at their 13-yard line. And I'd say just take a run and punt it away. And they'll do the opposite. Deep ball. Incomplete, intended for Marcellus Walker, the receiver who has by far the most yards after catch this season. If we look at yards after catch, Walker has 333 out of his 812. The next closest guy with yards after catch is David McKittrick, who has the most receiving yards in the league, 241. It is not even close. That punt for the Flames was brought up past midfield, and Geechee has excellent starting field position. Langford in the slot receiver role there, gaining 8. Tyshawn Kennedy put them in excellent field position, and now the Flames are looking to either tie this up or take the lead. We'll see which it is. Geechee handing it off to Brown. Brown weaving in and out of traffic, and he breaks free. The 10-5 touchdown. Cameron Brown, the Fort Lauderdale, Florida native, getting a touchdown for the Flames early in the third to put them ahead. And Freitag with the extra point, and it is good. 17-13 Orlando. Unbelievable run there. That has to go in a highlight reel somewhere. Walker taking the kick return, and you wonder why he didn't just let it become a touchback. And he tried to work his way up to the 20, couldn't even make it there. Made it up to the 19. And you got to put the team first when it comes to that kind of deal. Just let it go. Just T-pose on him and let it drop into the end zone. Picked off on the first play. DeMarcus Elder, who's been making huge plays all game for the Flames defense, picks off Jake Britton on his first attempt from scrimmage. Orlando now has it from the 28-yard line. Geechee hanging off to Brown, who just got a touchdown, and he gets a first down on the first play, and it's a face mask, and that puts them inside the 5. Orlando already up by 4, could go up by 11 here. Unbelievable. And just like that, Geechee is going to take it for himself, and he crosses the pylon. Touchdown Looked like an offensive lineman was hurt on the play, and I guess that's what Geechee saw, that he had to scramble. That was Josh Weiner, the center, getting hurt. Hopefully he's back in before the next drive, and Freitag will make this an 11-point game. 2 scores, no matter how you spell it. I believe, I'm looking to see who would go in. Yeah, that'll be Sam Lowe going in at center if Josh Weiner can't come back in time. Hoping not to make the same mistake again. I expect this to be a handoff, and it is. Colvin up the middle. Stopped for only 3 yards. Robertson, some extracurricular activity going on, and he is out with a leg injury, and that is crucial. He is a run blocker. He's a deep threat, and now Matt Newcomb and Jacob Deutsch will be the main 2 tight ends for this Raleigh offense. And that's all they got. If another one goes down, I don't know, put a fullback in. This is scary territory now. Newcomb, the veteran. Deutsch, the rookie, round 1 pick this season for Raleigh out of Lafayette. Second and 7 for the Royals midway through the 3rd. Britton dropping back. Wide open. Overthrows him. Matt Newcomb. The old man couldn't turn it on in time. And Raleigh now faces a crucial 3rd down. Britton sub 50% now. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. And the handoff to Colvin will not get them the first. 4th and inches. Turnovers and injuries. And a John Marston punt. I like close games. I don't like seeing games get out of hand. I liked this afternoon's game between Memphis and Wichita due to how close it was. But if they keep letting Chase Brown run like this, 26 yards. Cameron Brown. I know a guy named Chase Brown. Cameron Brown. 114 yards just rushing. Basically averaging 10 yards per carry. This time Sean Miles taking it. Gain of 1 there. He's not quite as bulky as Cameron Brown, but Raleigh has got to stop him. And if that stop for Miles was, their stand, they need to keep it up against Brown and against the passing threat from Geechee. Great stop there. Negative 4 yards. That is Robert Hale, the veteran out of Louisville, making the huge stop. Geechee now in pistol on 3rd and 13. He'll decide to hand it off as they do not want to make any big mistakes. Hang on to their 11-point lead. Down them inside the 5. Great play calling. Smart coaching from Pharaoh Trey. I believe Pharaoh Trey actually makes content on YouTube. Look up Pharaoh Trey Gaming. He is a big Axis fan like we all are. And makes great content. displaying other games as well. And he is clearly a great team owner as Orlando is sustaining an 11-point lead midway through the third. Once again, overthrowing Newcomb. Jake Britton's gotta reel it in. He needs to go to the sideline and get talked to. He's gotta keep his head in the game. Act like you've been here before. Someone who hasn't been here before is Colvin, who gets stopped for a major loss by Robbie Engel. Britton on 3rd and 14, motioning Tyrese Redmond. Dropping back, looking super deep into triple coverage, intended for Marcellus Walker. And we have another punt on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. That is John Marson about to come back out. Punting it to Tyshawn Kennedy. Kennedy breaking his first tackle past midfield, down at the 46. Geechee dropping back. Wide open down the middle is Martin. Tackled after a gain of 8 by Jacob Fraser. Pharaoh Trey leading this team to potentially their first ever playoff victory. They made the playoffs in Season 1, lost to the Memphis Liberty, and then Season 2 didn't make it back. They got leadership midway through Season 2 from, or early in Season 2 from Pharaoh Trey, and he's turned this organization around post-league realignment, all while, you know, having State of Decay 2 and Jedi Fallen Order playthroughs. This man can do it all. Speaking of a man that can do it all, Cameron Brown being subbed back in for Sean Miles. Expected to punch this one through. And he will. Just plowing the guys over. Cannot be stopped. Gain of 6. And this has rapidly almost become a 3-score lead. Knock on wood. Geechee has an open man. It's Langford going down the edge. Gain of 4. Man loves the edge. Miles, handoff to the right. Can't break through. And will gain about 2 on the play. And they'll just keep letting the clock tick. No rush here. Honestly, they'd be satisfied with a field goal. I mean, that still keeps it a 2-score game, but they will not. Brown hurdles a man and breaks through for the touchdown. Had Hale hanging on his back after hurdling Jacob Fraser. And that is just another example of how dominant Cameron Brown has been this season for the Flames. Cameron Brown had over 1,000 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns on the ground. And I mean, he was sharing the backfield with Sean Miles the whole season. Miles, you know, totaling a decent amount, just about 300 yards and a touchdown. This is a very well-built Orlando team offensively and defensively. And by the looks of it, if they win, I'm not saying they will, they're up by 18, which is 3 scores. no matter what, is 3 scores. And if they end up facing the Sharks, I have half a mind to say the Sharks are the underdogs in that. So these guys are making big stops where it matters against a tenured playoff team in the Raleigh Royals. They are impressive to say the least. Coming out with the, a first-year starter quarterback. This is like a Jordan Love situation in Orlando with Tremonti Geechee. Colvin stopped after a gain of 3. And, I mean, let's have a counter. Take a shot every time read option says crucial 3rd down. But this is a crucial 3rd down for the Raleigh Royals. Britton handing it off to Colvin up the middle. Will he get it? He won't. 4th and 1 as a 3rd quarter is about to expire. And I think we may see a John Marston punt before the end of the quarter. And we will. And this return from Kennedy should close out the quarter. It won't. The clock magically stopped at 1 second. Geechee dropping back. Clock's at zeros. Looking deep. Caught by Martin. I thought that a pick was set for him there for a second. Huge gain of 37 yards. Looked like Langford was setting a pick for him. Thought he was going to break through like Cameron Brown did earlier in the game. And it is just egregious now. Brown with the pitch. Stopped after a gain of 8 by Jalen Madison. Madison, who we have not seen much of today. The handoff to Brown again. This time he is met very quickly by the man who was hanging on to the back of him on his last touchdown, Robert Hale, getting his revenge there on a tackle for loss. 3rd and 4. Geechee dropping back on 3rd down, looking to his right. It's Rubio. Gain of 20, and, it's going to be run up the middle. Looks like Geechee was hoping for a passing touchdown there. He hasn't had a lot of those. Hoping to add to his stats, but Brown, his 3rd touchdown of the day. And he is dancing on him. What a man. What a career day for Cameron Brown. 3 touchdowns. Orlando now having a sizable lead, and any white jerseys we see in the crowd are leaving. Orlando is just soaking it in right now. Soaking up the sun, so to say. I anticipate there will be a post-win or post-loss press conference from either or both of these coaches. They are both expected to remain coaches of their teams next season as they, led their teams to playoffs. Neither of these guys are the 6th seed, Huge pass intended for Walker, and Sharif gets banged up on the play. Less protection for Britton is not what you want to see against such a good defense. Colvin, the handoff, stopped for a loss of yards. There's Rosenblum there. Britton looking for a first down. That is Newcomb's first catch. I think that was his third target. One-handed grab for a gain of 18 and a new set of downs. Raleigh says, don't count us out yet. 25-point deficit. That's just 3 touchdowns and 3 2-point conversions and a field goal. Britton to Cannon. Runs out of bounds. Clock not stopped, though. Colvin with the handoff. Gain of 4 and a first down. Surprised they would hand it off with, how little time they have. Another handoff to Colvin. We will respect Logan's judgment here as he gains 3 on the play. Handoff, another one, this time to Bond. Bond getting 7 yards and a first. Colvin coming right back into the game. Colvin being treated essentially as the starter here in the 4th. I think ever since Bond got hit, he's been taking less carries. 9 rushes for 41 yards, 2 receptions, 16 yards. Another handoff to Colvin. Colvin gaining 6 on the play. They're just burning this clock out. Understandably so. They got the fight in them, but you're 4 scores down. I mean, how many unanswered points is that from Orlando? I think it's 28 unanswered points, 4 unanswered touchdowns. Crazy. At least that many. Hand off to Colvin up the middle, and he will get another first down. Gain of 4 on the play. Sylvester getting banged up on the play, and Sharif returning from his injury. Well, guys, tomorrow I know most of you will be watching the Super Bowl, but maybe after church or whatever you do on Sundays, Albuquerque will face their divisional rivals in San Antonio at 1 p.m. And at 4 p.m., you get to watch a game before the Super Bowl. The Austin Stars face the Iowa Storm. 2 great Pacific matchups after today's Atlantic matchups. And then, of course, next week, we already know we'll see Wichita, Virginia Beach. The underdogs in Wichita trying to keep that momentum they just got today. And then the Orlando Flames, the 4 seed, will now take on the 2 seed St. Louis Sharks. And it is anybody's games. These guys are all deserving of playoffs. These guys are all deserving of championships. I am excited to see what the outcomes are of tomorrow's games, as I will be tuning in, not commentating. We have a different commentary crew for each game this week. You had Dave and Mike earlier today. You have me right now, and then tomorrow you have Pasta, the commissioner, heading things out, and then you have Cole closing out Wildcard Weekend. So, nice slew of commentators. Britton, late in the game, some garbage time, getting a rushing touchdown. Remind me of Peyton Manning's touchdown run against the Cowboys. No one expected it. And there he is. 1 rush, 9 yards, and a touchdown. Extra point is more than good from Nate the Great. $18-point deficit, 7-14, get another touchdown, and then we'll start talking about scenarios of victory for Raleigh. I feel like I'm giving them the Tucson Albuquerque, I think it was, treatment where I counted Albuquerque out of the game and then they won. So, or was it Tucson? Whichever. I counted out the one that was losing and then they came back and won against all odds. But Cameron Brown is making sure that I don't embarrass myself again, getting 20-yard carries. It is no surprise that Cameron Brown is just all over this defense. Such a great running back. This running back duo is the future in Orlando alongside new franchise quarterback Trey Money Geechee. Believe it or not, Geechee is actually a prospect created by a user. We allow those, of course, in the NAGA. You have time to submit your prospects for this upcoming season. Follow them along. You get to become an automatic fan for whatever team you're on. You know, you kind of get a say in what happens with your player in games. So, you know, make a prospect, and maybe your guy becomes the head quarterback of a studded team. You know, Trey Money Geechee and Ryan Davis for the Portland Grizzlies are two big examples of this. They are both user-created prospects, and they are both, you know, leaders of their respective teams. Lamonte Jackson for the Iowa Storm. He's a user-created prospect. Moss Bell for the Milwaukee Bees, the defensive end. Hingle McCringleberry for the Albuquerque River Monsters. So, you know, some names are familiar, some names less so. But, you know, pick a guy, pick a name, pick a position, and live vicariously through the team owner and the player. Almost picked off again from Jake Britton. And that would have just been icing on the cake. Force Orlando to punt it to you and then just give it right back to him. Britton needs to be in 2-minute drill mode. They want to stay in this thing. Quick pass. Led his man a little too far. Looked like that was... who did you throw it to? Marcus Gladney. Not the stat line you want to see if you're Jake Britton. Wide open George Colvin had a convoy of men in front of him. Raleigh calls their first timeout. My voice is seeing the weathering of this exciting game. Of course, me cheering and you know, all the moments in the last game too. Memphis, Wichita. Such an exciting game to watch. If you didn't watch it, if you missed it and you're just here for this premiere, after this game is over, go back and watch that one. It's a great game. Highly recommend you watch it. Big catch by Tyrese Redmond, and Raleigh burns their second timeout. They need a lot of things to go right for them. Redmond, what a stat line for him, though. What a catch by Marcellus Walker, the yards after catch demon. 2-minute warning, no need for a timeout from Raleigh. And they are now inside the 20. Jake Britton quickly becoming the Dak Prescott of the NAGA with all this garbage time. Colvin, touchdown. Expected him to not get any, you know, major plays today, and here he is with the late game touchdown. And they will, of course, go for two to see if they even should try. In the final 2 minutes, Britton, under pressure, throws it away. Okay. All right. Onside kick attempt from Nate Gilroy. Anything but a Raleigh recovery means the end of this game. And there you have it. Jenkins, the closer. I expect nothing but smack talk in the NAGA Discord. I expect nothing but hype reels for Cameron Brown. I expect nothing but trust and faith from the Orlando fan base in Tremonti Geechee. And I expect draft talks from Memphis and Raleigh, who, despite looking favorable heading into the playoffs, now see themselves packing it up and heading to Cancun. Nice tackle for loss there, Stephen Dunn. However, not all of these guys are done for the season. We do have the All-Star Game, Pro Bowl, whatever you want to call it, coming up after the week after the championship. That will likely be co-commentated by multiple of the NAGA staff, whether it's me and Cole, or Cole and Pasta, or Pasta and me. We will have a very exciting game nonetheless. Fumble! Amari Lawson! Hey, yo! What just happened? The second turnover for Lawson. What? It was victory formation, guys.
Go!
What? What? Okay. Okay. Well, regardless, we'll still see right guard Leon Townsend from the Memphis Liberty in the All-Star Game. One of the guys heading home this week. I know that he's at least one of them from Memphis. We'll see Marquise Collins. We'll probably see Jalen Weathers. It might look like the Memphis offense, for the most part, in the Pro Bowl. I mean, why? You know, they're a great offense, you know. Britton on 3rd and 10 on an unexpected possession here. No timeouts. Picked off. Tyshawn Kennedy. Just get down, man. Get down. Okay. Yeah, there we go. 2 turnovers to end the game. This league always surprises me in pleasant, unpleasant, you know, undecided ways. What? What was that? I feel like I'm Gucci Mane in 2006. No, I feel so dumbfounded right now. I simultaneously feel like that one meme with that British kid that opens his mouth real wide. It's like, oh my gosh. And also like the Travolta meme from Pulp Fiction where he's looking around like, what? What? Anyways, game's over. Player of the game's Cam Brown. But, you know, if we have to pick for Raleigh's side, I mean, Amari Lawson, come on now. Come on. What a game. Raleigh had way more plays, 16 more plays. Orlando ended up with more yards. 2 sacks for Orlando. 2 turnovers per side. Obviously, that last one from Tyshawn Kennedy. Geechee, great game. Brown obviously being the stud, though. Elder, 11 tackles, 1 interception, 1 forced fumble. Just as impressive as Lawson. Stephen Dunn, great job there. Defended passes from the Orlando defense. I'd say, you know, it's not on Jake Britton what happened there. You know, it was really on that defense stepping up for the Orlando Flames. Got to keep your head up, you know, take this loss with pride, and expect to be back in the playoffs next season. You know, this franchise knows nothing but success. I know one day they'll make it all the way. It's not this year, as Orlando gets their flowers and is going to advance to the divisional round for the first time in Orlando Flames history. Can they make it to the conference championship? We'll find out next week. Please tune in, as I know I will be in commentary form and in viewer form. Until then, my name is Reed Option, and I will see you next time.